Not all fast cars wore racing stripes or wild colors in the 1950s. Some looked plain on the outside but packed serious power inside. These were the true sleeper cars. Number 1. 1955 Chevrolet Bel Air. Some cars look fancy, others are fast, but then there are a few that do both and still hide in plain sight. The 1955 Chevrolet Bel Air was one of those cars. At first glance, people thought it was just a nice family car. But under the shiny chrome and smooth lines, it was a surprise waiting to race. To begin with, the 1955 Bel Air had a fresh new look. It was 15 feet long and sat lower than many other cars. The wide sweep-sight windshield wrapped around the front, making it look like it belonged in the future. It had an egg crate grille, shiny headlight covers, and chrome strips that ran along the sides. It was called the Hot One in ads, and it sure looked cool. Then came something big. The Bel Air had a new V8 engine. This wasn't just any motor. It made the big car move from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 12.9 seconds. That was fast for a car that weighed 3,300 pounds. Motor Trend loved how it rode, and popular mechanics liked how it handled. With a stronger 12-volt system and better brakes, the Bel Air could go fast and stop safely. In later years, the Bel Air changed a lot. At first, it was just a two-door hardtop, but in 1953, it became a top trim level. From 1955 to 1957, it was in its second generation with modern looks. By 1975, the Bel Air was mainly sold to fleets, like taxi companies. Even though the 1955 Bel Air looked like a regular cruiser, it had speed, style, and power hiding under its hood. Number 2. 1957 Plymouth Fury. The 1957 Plymouth Fury might look like a weak car, but this big golden car was hiding something powerful. Many people never knew what it could really do. To start with, the Fury looked wild for its time. It had big tailfins, shiny chrome, and a cool two-door hardtop style. It came in a color called buckskin beige, and it turned heads wherever it went. When you opened the door, the inside looked fancy too, with soft seats and neat buttons. There were even push buttons for the automatic gears, which made it feel like a spaceship. Next up is the power. Under the hood, the Fury had a 318 cubic inch V8 engine. With special tuning and dual 4-barrel carbs, it could make up to 290 horsepower. If you hit the gas hard, it could go from 0 to 60 miles per hour in under 10 seconds. That was super fast for a big American car in 1957. But many people had no idea because it looked more like a stylish cruiser than a race car. Moving ahead, the Fury didn't just go fast in a straight line, it had a special front suspension with torsion bars, stiffer shocks, and better steering. One car magazine said it could turn like a sports car. That's rare for a big car from Detroit. The Fury was even better than some real sports cars when it came to cornering. One more thing, the Fury came with a smooth TorqueFlite automatic. It had push-button controls, and it worked better than the manual. The engine didn't like low speeds with the manual, but with the TorqueFlite, it launched quickly. It had a special torque converter that helped the engine reach its power zone faster. Even though it looked like a showy car for Sunday drives, the 1957 Plymouth Fury was built to move. Hidden behind the shiny paint was one of the quickest and best handling cars of its time. Number 3. 1954 Oldsmobile 88. The 1954 Oldsmobile 88 was one of those unknown cars that hide their speed under smooth lines and quiet looks. That's why this car fits perfectly as a sleeper. Right away, the 1954 Oldsmobile 88 showed off new looks. It had a longer lower body and a fancy one-piece windshield. Its wheelbase stretched to 122 inches, making the car smooth and wide. Even the rear window is wrapped around, making it look extra modern for its time. People noticed the design first, not the speed, and that helped it hide its true nature. Now moving inside, the dashboard looked sharp and balanced. The speedometer and clock sat in round dials, and there were extra gauges around them. The seats had soft fabric in colors like gray, blue, or green. In the Super 88 and 98 models, the seats came in bright leather that made the cabin feel rich. Then comes the engine. The Rocket V8 was stronger this year. It grew from 303 to 324 cubic inches. The base 88 had 170 horsepower with a 2-barrel carburetor. The Super 88 used a 4-barrel carb and made 185 horsepower. Both versions gave out 300 pound-feet of torque at 2,000 RPM. That much twist helped the car launch off the line with surprising force. Next, let's look at the ride. The body changes gave it a better center of gravity, and the car handled well for its size. The Hydra-Matic automatic was tilted 22 degrees to the side, which helped it fit and made repairs easier. You could still get a 3-speed manual, but most buyers picked the smooth automatic. Here's something cool. The convertible was only in the Super 88 line, not the base. That made it even more special. Oldsmobile built 354,001 cars in 1954. It was enough to make Oldsmobile the 4th best-selling brand that year. Number 4. 1956. Ford Thunderbird. To begin with, the 1956 Thunderbird looked a lot like the 1955 model, but look closer and you'll find smart changes. The spare tire was moved outside to give more room in the trunk. The new rear bumper had built-in exhaust tips. Air vents were added behind the front wheels to keep the cabin cooler. Most fun of all, the hardtop roof has round porthole windows, so you can see better when driving. Moving under the hood, things get even more interesting. The car came with a strong 312 cubic inch V8 engine. With a 4-barrel carburetor and Ford-O-Matic automatic transmission, it made 225 horsepower. With a manual, it had 215 horsepower. That's a lot of power for a car that looks more like a cruiser than a racer. Now, let's talk about the interior design. The Thunderbird had fancy seats and door panels. Some models had gray leather inside and silver paint outside. The dashboard had chrome details, and some cars even had air conditioning and a cool AM/FM cassette radio. It was built for comfort, but it could still move fast when needed. As we go on, sales in 1956 were lower than the year before. Ford built only 15,631 Thunderbirds that year, but that made them even more special. Many people chose this car for its looks, not knowing how quickly it could really go. The car handled well too, with power brakes, smooth steering, and a nice ride. Later on, some Thunderbirds were restored to look even better. One car had its whole body and frame taken apart, cleaned, and rebuilt. It got a twin 4-barrel carb setup for more speed and won awards at car shows. With white wall tires, fender skirts, and wire wheels, it looked like a classic, but it could drive like a race car. However, it looked calm and classy. The 1956 Thunderbird was ready to fly whenever the driver wanted. Number 5. 1959 Cadillac Eldorado Biarritz. The 1959 Cadillac Eldorado Biarritz didn't just turn heads, it could surprise anyone on the road. To start, the Eldorado Biarritz looked like it came from the future. It had the biggest tailfins of any car, rocket-shaped lights, and a grille that looked like a piece of art. People bought it for style, but few knew how strong it really was. Under the cover, things get exciting. The Eldorado had a 390 cubic inch V8 engine. That engine didn't just have one or two, but 3 2-barrel Rochester carburetors. That setup gave the car a huge 345 horsepower. A 4-speed Hydra-matic automatic transmission could move much faster than people expected from a big luxury car. Now, take a look inside. This car was made for comfort. It had power windows, power seats, power door locks, and even a power trunk. It came with a heater, fog lamps, cruise control, and a radio with a rear speaker. The special Autronic eye system would dim your high beams when another car came near. And in the rarest version, like this one, it had front bucket seats. Only 99 Eldorados had them. Beyond this exact car was painted Kensington green with a white interior and a white top. It was the only one built like that. It even came with green carpets to match. The color code was marked 36, and SO on the trim tag showed it was a special order. Later, it was part of a famous car collection and won awards. Mechanics rebuilt the carburetors, tuned the engine, and polished the paint. Even with all its fancy features, the car was ready for the road again in 2021. Well, it looked like it belonged at a car show. The 1959 Cadillac Eldorado Biarritz could move with the best of them. Number 6. 1957 Buick Century. The 1957 Buick Century, well, most people saw it as a big, shiny car for rich families. What they didn't know was that it had a powerful engine inside. The Century looked amazing. It had long, smooth lines, big tail fins, and shiny chrome all over. There were 4 cool round portholes on each front fender, and only the Century got that many. The front grille was wide and bold, with bumper guards that looked like rocket tips. Inside, it had soft seats made from fancy fabric or leather, and the dashboard was full of shiny dials and switches. Now moving to the engine, the Century had a 364 cubic inch V8. It made 300 horsepower, which was very strong for a car in 1957. This power helped the big Buick go from 0 to 60 miles per hour in under 7 seconds, 10 seconds. That kind of speed made it feel like a muscle car hiding in a luxury suit. Some drivers even called it the banker's hot rod. Looking further, the Century came with power brakes, power steering, and an automatic Dynaflow transmission. These features made the ride super smooth, even on bumpy roads. It also had rear-wheel drive and a liquid-cooled system to keep the engine from getting too hot. Buyers could choose from many bright colors like Dover white or Seminole red. For those who loved options, the Century came in several styles, like sedans, coupes, and convertibles. But the most loved one was the Riviera hardtop coupe. It had no door frames and glass that rolled down smoothly. With all that power in a fancy body, it fooled a lot of people. That's what makes it one of the remarkable sleeper cars from the 1950s. Number 7. 1955 Chrysler 300C. The 1955 Chrysler C300 was built to race, not just cruise. At first look, it shared a body with the Chrysler New Yorker, but engineers gave it the most powerful engine in Chrysler's lineup. The 331 cubic inch Hemi-Fiv 8 came with dual 4-barrel carburetors and pushed out 300 horsepower. This setup made it the most powerful American car that year, and it could hit speeds over 127 miles per hour. The car also had a 2-speed PowerFlight automatic transmission, perfect for smooth but strong takeoffs. Let's come to exterior. Designer Virgil Exner gave the C300 a bold look. It had a massive egg crate grille, clean lines, and small fins on the rear fenders. 2 round headlights sat in chrome frames. The rear window curved around the sides, which made it stand out among other 1950s cars. But none of these features gave away how quick this car really was. Not only this, it looked more like a luxury cruiser than a racer. It had bench seats, front and back, with a simple 2-spoke steering wheel that gave a clear view of the speedometer and tachometer. The dashboard also included extra gauges and a 150 mile per hour speedometer. hinting at what the car could do. On the track, the C300 proved its power. Chrysler built it to qualify for NASCAR, and it won championships in both 1955 and 1956. The suspension was strengthened, and the car had four-wheel hydraulic drum brakes to handle high speeds. Everything about it was made to race, even if it looked like a smooth Sunday driver. The C300 came with power steering, power brakes, and a radio. It was even called America's greatest performing motor car by Chrysler. Today, it's a rare find and often restored by collectors. Number 8. 1956 Dodge Coronet. The 1956 Dodge Coronet looked like a stylish family car, but it packed surprise performance. First off, the outside of the car was clean and smooth. The body had no dents or rust, and the shiny red paint looked like a mirror. Chrome bumpers front and back were redone and polished bright. The stainless trim was straight and shiny, and even the windshield was new. It rolled on white wall radial tires with its original hubcaps. Cool features like fender skirts, stone shields, and tail fins with antennas gave it a bold look. Moving inside, the seats were reupholstered using the correct materials. The door panels, headliner, and carpet were replaced too. The dashboard was in great shape, and it included something fun: a push-button transmission mounted right on the dash. This was a special feature that made shifting easy and futuristic. Now, under the hood, things have got really interesting. This car had its original 270 cubic inch V8 engine, and it ran very smoothly. It was clean and properly detailed, with painted metal and all parts looking correct. The engine wasn't the biggest of its time, but with the right setup, it had strong low-end power and a nice V8 rumble. Some versions of the Coronet even came with a bigger 315 Hemi 5.8, which made it even faster. Next, look at the trunk. It was huge and solid. The original rubber mat was old, but it had a full-size spare and a new weather strip. The whole underside of the car was cleaned and painted, showing it had been taken care of. A dual exhaust with cherry bomb mufflers gave it a deep, rumbling sound that turned heads. Even though the Coronet looked like a calm cruiser, it could jump off the line with real speed. Back in the 1950s, people didn't expect a Dodge like this to move so quickly. Number 9. 1954 Studebaker Commander. The 1954 Studebaker Commander didn't just look different, its outside design was ahead of its time. It had smooth lines, a bold chrome grille, and a wraparound rear window that made it stand out from other cars. This design came from Raymond Loewy, one of the most famous car designers ever. The Starlight Coupe version had a rear window that wrapped all the way around, giving a wide view that felt futuristic. But that's not all. The cabin was filled with fancy touches. The seats used rich fabrics, the dashboard had shiny metal parts, and the controls were easy to use. Some Commanders even had power steering and automatic transmission, which were big deals in 1954. The push-button radio and wide speedometer made the dashboard feel special. Step by step, things get even better. The 1954 Commander came with a 232 cubic inch V8 engine. That gave it strong acceleration for the time. While it may not beat today's sports cars, it could move fast enough to surprise other drivers. The handling was also nice. The suspension helped smooth out bumpy roads, and the steering felt light and easy to control. As we go underneath, the Commander has rear-wheel drive and a strong body that holds up well. Most drivers liked the way it felt on long drives, and the engine made a nice low rumble that showed it had strength behind its style. Back then, people bought this car for its looks and comfort, but very few knew how well it could perform when pushed. That's why the 1954 Studebaker Commander is a true sleeper car. Even today, these cars are rare and loved by collectors. Some can be worth more than $50,000 if kept in great shape. Number 10. 1955 Pontiac Star Chief. The 1955 Pontiac Star Chief looked like a smooth cruiser, but the body of the car was long and low, with clean panels and straight lines. The paint had a glossy shine, and the doors closed with a solid click. Chrome trim wrapped around the car, and it wore fancy features like stainless skirts, a continental kit, and a glowing Indian head hood ornament. The big white wall tires and rare wire basket hubcaps added to its classy look. It even had optional reverse lights and a power white convertible top that was great in shape. No doubt this is a beauty with a beast engine. The seats were redone with fresh materials. They looked and felt great. The door panels, carpet, and visors were all new too. The dash had shiny chrome trim and working gauges. Even the tissue dispenser under the dash was a fun extra. Seat belts were added to the front seats for safety. Speaking of its powerhouse, this Star Chief came with a 287 cubic inch V8 engine. The optional 4-barrel carburetor made it 200 horsepower. That was a lot in 1955, and it could take the big car from 0 to 60 miles per hour in under 12 seconds. The rebuilt Hydra-matic transmission helped it shift smoothly. The engine bay was clean and correct, with silver streak valve covers and the full air cleaner setup. Looking under the car, the frame and floors were solid. The middle section still showed factory primer, which means it was well cared for. The exhaust system was new and had glass pack mufflers that gave it a nice rumble. It also had spring helpers and coilover shocks in the rear to handle the weight better. That strong V8 engine and solid build made it faster than most people expected. Number 11. 1957 Mercury Montclair. The 1957 Mercury Montclair had a bold style. It wore a black and ivory two-tone paint job that looked sharp. Chrome bumpers, grille, and trim sparkled in the sunlight. The rear bumper had built-in brake lights, and dual exhaust tips added extra flash. Wide white wall tires wrapped around 14-inch steel wheels with full covers. The front fender even had a cool mirror placed up high. This car had big looks that didn't shout about its speed. Additionally, the black vinyl seats were fresh and firm. The carpet was black and clean, and the two-tone door panels matched the classy theme. There were manual window cranks, a shiny deep-dish steering wheel, and a 3-layer instrument panel. The dash had chrome details and looked like something from a spaceship. A below-dash heater kept the cabin warm, and the trunk was lined in plaid with a factory spare, jack, and tools. Next up, let's talk about what really makes this car special. Under the hood sat a 368 cubic inch V8 engine. This big block was strong and smooth. Paired with the Mercury-matic push-button automatic transmission, it gave the Montclair powerful takeoff. It could go from 0 to 60 miles per hour in under 10 seconds, which was quick for a big car like this. That made it faster than many people expected. Looking at the gauges, the speedometer read up to 120 miles per hour. It also had extra factory and helper gauges to keep track of engine health. The odometer showed 14,234 miles, though the true number was unknown. Going beyond, the car had coil spring suspension that helped it float over bumps while staying steady on turns. The whole driving experience felt smooth and easy. Number 12. 1955 Packard Caribbean. First off, let's talk about its fascinating appearance. The 1955 Packard Caribbean was painted in 3 bold colors: jade white, fire opal red, and onyx. It wore wide white wall tires and shiny chrome wire wheels. The car had dual spotlights and tall taillights shaped like cathedrals. It also had gold-toned Caribbean badges and cool V-shaped details to show off its new V8 power. In addition, the Caribbean came with soft leather seats and lots of buttons. The windows, brakes, steering, and even the soft top were all powered. It also had a signal-seeking radio and power front seat, which was rare for the time. The car made riders feel like they were in a luxury hotel on wheels. Now, let's talk power. It had a 352 cubic inch V8 engine with dual 4-barrel carburetors. That made 275 horsepower, a big number in 1955. The Ultramatic automatic transmission helped deliver smooth yet powerful shifts. With this setup, the car could go from 0 to 60 miles per hour quickly, making it faster than many expected. Next, the ride was super smooth. The Caribbean used a special torsion bar suspension system that gave it soft landings over bumps. It stayed balanced and steady even when other cars got bouncy. That made it fun and easy to drive. Well, no one can beat it in rarity. Only around 500 of these convertibles were built in 1955. People saw it as a luxury cruiser, but very few knew how fast it really was. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If so, then be sure to give a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more amazing content.